You woke 3 times again, exhausted, foggy, frustrated. Repeated nighttime bathroom trips can quietly chip away at sleep, focus, and well-being. Stay with me for a safe, natural plan that shows how to stop it without guesswork. I'm going to start with a confession. For a long time, my nights were split into tiny fragments by the sound of my own footsteps shuffling to the bathroom. At 1:40 a.m., 3:12 a.m., and, like clockwork, around 4:30 a.m. If you know that dance, you also know the next morning. Heavy eyes, short fuse, and a brain that feels like it's wading through syrup. Tonight, I want to show you the single mistake that quietly fuels those wake-ups, and how to replace it with a routine that lets your body sleep like it actually wants to. Before we go anywhere, I'm promising you something extra. By the end of this series, I'll hand you a simple, non-diuretic bedtime infusion recipe, step by step, with quantities, and a small checklist you can keep by your nightstand. It's a gentle add-on, but only when used the right way. When we talk about health, a tablespoon too much or a timing mistake can flip the result, so please follow along to the end. I'll keep everything practical and safe. Here's the truth I learned the hard way. The bladder isn't always the villain. The real trickster is timing. Many of us hydrate at the wrong end of the day, skimping on water when we're busy, then catching up at night. Add a late coffee, an iced tea at dinner, or a fizzy diet soda during a streaming marathon, and you've stacked the deck against your own sleep. The body can't help it. Fluids in late, fluids out late. It's not punishment, it's plumbing. Think about a typical North American evening. The afternoon caffeine refill because the meeting ran long. A stop at the drive-thru for a large unsweetened iced tea. It's just tea. Or a zero-sugar cola to go with spicy takeout. Maybe a kombucha because it sounds healthy. Then a sleepy time herbal tea right before bed in a jumbo mug. Every item seems harmless. Together, they're a perfect storm. Some of these drinks contain caffeine, a stimulant and mild diuretic. Some are carbonated, which can irritate the bladder in sensitive people. And most are simply liquid delivered too late. So what do we do instead? The first fix is boring and powerful. Front-load your hydration. Give your body most of its water by late afternoon. I use a simple split. Half of my day's water before noon, most of the remainder before 6 p.m., and then I taper. That doesn't mean lying in bed thirsty. It means being deliberate. If you work with a big 32 Oz bottle, put small marks on it. 10 a.m., noon, 2 p.m., 4 p.m. Aim to meet the mark without binging. When evening comes, switch to smaller cups, not giant tumblers. We're retraining timing, not dehydrating ourselves. Second, set a personal caffeine curfew. For most people, cutting caffeine after mid-afternoon makes a measurable difference. That includes the sneaky sources: green tea, dark chocolate, and even some decaf coffees with trace caffeine. If you love the ritual of a hot drink at night, choose a non-caffeinated option that isn't a diuretic and practice sipping, not chugging. Third, know your dinner drink. If you're used to restaurant refills, iced tea, sparkling water, diet soda, decide on one modest glass and make the rest of the meal about flavors, not fluids. Season your food with fresh herbs or a squeeze of lemon at the start of the meal, not the end, so you're satisfied without washing bites down. Salty, spicy dinners will make you reach for more to drink, so balance them with milder sides. A small bowl of rice, roasted vegetables, or a simple salad calms the craving for bottomless beverages. Here's a move that surprised me with how well it works. A double void before bed. About 30-45 minutes before you turn in, use the bathroom once, then again right before sleep. No straining, no forcing, just give your body 2 chances to empty at a calm pace. If your ankles or legs tend to swell by day, elevate your feet for 15 minutes in the early evening. Gravity shifts fluid around. This helps your body handle it before lights out. If you're wondering whether a little nighttime tea is always a bad idea, not necessarily. Some gentle, non-stimulating herbs can be soothing. The key variables are portion, timing, and what you pair them with. A huge mug taken in one go is a different story from a small cup sipped an hour and a half before bed. Again, quantities matter. We'll get to the exact, safe preparation of a calming, non-diuretic infusion later, so you have a reliable option without guesswork. One more mindset shift helps. Stop battling your body and start scheduling for it. If late evening thirst is a constant for you, look at your daytime pattern. Did lunch come with only a few sips? Did you postpone water between back-to-back meetings? People often believe they have a small bladder when the real issue is a day of underdrinking followed by an evening of catch-up. When you spread water evenly, your nights change more than you'd expect. I want to be clear and responsible here. Frequent nighttime urination can sometimes be a sign of an underlying condition. What we're doing now is building the strongest possible foundation, timing, choices, and gentle habits, so your body isn't pushed into wake-ups by routine alone. If you apply these steps and still wake multiple times every night, that's important information to share with a healthcare professional who can look at the full picture. Let me leave you with a small action you can take today. Pick one beverage you usually drink in the evening and move it earlier by 2 hours. Just one. Notice how your night feels after that small shift. Change can be simple. And remember the promised bonus, a safe, clear recipe and a checklist you can use without second-guessing. Keep following along, because the next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It may lead to unwanted side effects. I'll explain carefully so you can avoid them with confidence. Since we've already shifted the focus from blaming the bladder to rethinking timing, it's time to unpack why those nighttime trips matter so much. Waking to urinate isn't just about inconvenience. It's a ripple that moves through your brain, mood, metabolism, and even safety the next day. When you understand the price you pay, the motivation to correct the pattern becomes almost automatic, because better nights translate into better days. Sleep works in cycles, like gentle ocean waves. Every time you get up, you aren't just pausing the movie, you're skipping back several scenes. The deep, slow wave phases that restore memory and hormonal balance take time to build, and a single interruption can shrink them. That's why the morning after 2 or 3 bathroom runs can feel foggy. Names sit on the tip of your tongue, small tasks demand more effort, and your patience wears thin by lunchtime. People often say, "I went back to sleep, so it's fine." It's not quite fine. You likely return to lighter sleep and miss the stuff that does the heavy lifting. There's also a quiet link between fragmented sleep and food choices. When you're tired, your body nudges you toward fast energy. In North American life, that often looks like an extra drive-through coffee with flavored syrup, a donut someone left in the break room, or late-night leftovers, pepperoni pizza, buffalo wings, nachos. These foods are salty and spicy, 2 triggers that make you thirstier in the evening and more likely to keep drinking later, which sets you up for, you guessed it, more wake-ups. It's a loop. Break the loop, and your nights start to settle. Hydration timing, then, is not just a sleep strategy. It's an energy strategy. Front-loading water supports steady alertness, reduces cravings for oversized caffeinated drinks late in the day, and keeps you from chasing thirst at dinner. A few practical switches help. Choose a medium coffee in the morning instead of a large one in the afternoon. Trade the dinner iced tea for still water with a slice of cucumber or a sprig of mint. And if you enjoy a fizzy drink, aim for it at lunch rather than at 8 p.m. Carbonation, for some people, can irritate the bladder lining and create that urge now feeling, especially when combined with citrus flavors. Let's talk refills. Restaurant and home routines make endless glasses seem normal. A well-intentioned partner tops up your cup, a server swings by with more seltzer, and the bottle of diet soda is within arm's reach while you binge a show. Make a simple rule that protects your sleep without making you feel restricted. 1 modest glass with dinner, then pause. Set the table with flavor-forward foods so you're not using drinks to chase bites. Think roasted vegetables, a squeeze of lemon at the start of the meal, or fresh herbs like dill and basil. By finishing the flavor story on the plate, you won't need to finish it in your glass. Evening salt matters more than people realize. Salty snacks, kettle chips, pretzels, popcorn, draw you to the pantry, then to the fridge for a drink to balance them. If you like a snack after dinner, guide it towards something naturally moist so you don't need a big beverage on the side. Orange slices earlier in the evening, berries, or a small yogurt bowl. If citrus tends to irritate your bladder, pick the berries or yogurt. The goal isn't perfection, It's reducing the late-night push toward large volumes of liquid. There's a body clock angle here too. Your kidneys don't keep exactly the same rhythm day and night. They're tuned to slow output while you sleep, unless you send a loud signal in the form of fluid late in the evening. That's why a huge glass right before bed is so counterproductive. You can still enjoy comfort rituals. Just nudge them earlier and make them smaller. If you want something warm, plan it 90 minutes before lights out and sip. Don't gulp. Stop thinking of the last hour before sleep as a window for catching up. Think of it as a cool-down lap. Another overlooked factor is stress. Long days can stretch your nervous system tight, and a tense body sends scattered signals to the bladder. Short, calming practices help more than they sound like they would. A 10-minute walk after dinner, breathing slowly for a couple of minutes, dimming screens to reduce stimulation. These don't cure everything, but they lower the baseline restlessness that can make you feel like you need one more drink and one more bathroom run. All of this still lives under a responsible umbrella. If you're waking up 3 or more times every night and you've adjusted your timing for a couple of weeks, keep that note for your clinician. What we're doing is building a lifestyle foundation that gives your body every chance to succeed without extremes. We're not diagnosing, we're making smart, safe changes that most people can try. Here's a practical mini plan you can try starting tonight. Move any caffeinated beverage to before mid-afternoon. Decide on the one dinner drink you truly enjoy and have just that one. If you're thirsty later, take a small cup, not a big one, and sip slowly. Use the bathroom twice, relaxed, before bed. If your legs feel heavy by evening, elevate your feet for 15 minutes right after you finish the dishes. This set of small moves is simple, repeatable, and designed to give you back deep sleep without turning your evenings into a rule book. Notice the tone here. No scare tactics, no impossible targets. Just gentle course corrections that respect how your body works. You deserve nights that feel whole. You deserve mornings that start at full brightness, not dim. Keep going, because the next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It may cause unwanted side effects you can easily avoid when you understand the details and apply them thoughtfully. We've already untangled one powerful idea. Your nights are shaped less by the size of your bladder and more by the clock in your hand. With that in mind, let's challenge a belief that sounds healthy but quietly hijacks sleep. I'll just drink a ton tonight and make up for what I missed. It's a common reflex after a packed day. Meetings run long. You realize your bottle is still full at 6 p.m., and the solution seems obvious. Chug now, fix later. Except the body isn't a late-night storage unit. It's a dynamic system that answers to rhythm. Think about what usually accompanies that catch-up plan. Maybe you pour a tall glass of water with dinner, then another during dishes, then a herbal tea in a jumbo mug because you want to do something good for yourself before bed. If you're in the habit of restaurant refills, it might be 2 iced teas across a meal or a can of diet soda while you binge a show. None of these are bad in isolation, and that's exactly why this pattern is tricky. It feels reasonable, but when you stack large volumes late, you ask your kidneys to stay on the day shift while your brain is trying to enter the night shift. Your body does use hormones to naturally dial back urine production while you sleep. That's why uninterrupted nights are possible in the first place. Flood the system late, however, and you override that quiet signal. You might fall asleep fast, but you'll wake up in the lightest stages of sleep because your internal plumbing has work to do. That's not a moral failing or a weak will. It's basic physiology. The fix is not to drink less overall, it's to retime what you already plan to drink. Here's the reframe that turned my nights around. Hydration is a schedule, not a stunt. Instead of heroic gallons at 9 p.m., make mid-morning and early afternoon your water hubs. Use a bottle you actually like holding and mark it with realistic checkpoints. 10 a.m., noon, 2 p.m., 4 p.m. Miss a mark? Nudge, don't panic. Take steady, moderate sips and let your body keep pace. When the evening arrives, you're not behind, so you don't need a flood. This one change reduces wake-ups more than any special tea or gadget I've tried. If you love rituals, keep them. Just adjust the container and the clock. Swap the jumbo mug for a small cup and move it earlier. If the habit is more about comfort than thirst, change the sensory cue. A warm hand towel, a brief stretch, or a few pages of a paperback can scratch the same itch without sending you to the bathroom at 2 a.m. If you enjoy bubbles, have sparkling water at lunch and still water at dinner. Carbonation can be a minor bladder irritant for some people. You may not notice during the day, but at night, the urge now feeling becomes harder to ignore. There's another quiet driver that pushes big evening drinking: salty, spicy dinners. North American plates love bold flavors: buffalo wings, nachos with jalapenos, pepperoni pizza, ramen with extra broth. Delicious, yes. They also make you reach for refills. You don't need to abandon them, but pair them smarter. Add a mild side, roasted vegetables, rice, or a simple salad. And start the meal with a sip or two of water, not a full glass. Finishing with half a glass instead of another full one is easier when the food itself isn't goading you. For those who exercise after work, here's a gentle strategy. Instead of gulping a bottle the minute you step off the treadmill, sip steadily during the workout and in the hour that follows, then taper. Your cells absorb fluid better when it's not delivered as a tidal wave. If it's hot out or your training is intense, adapt the plan, but keep the spirit. Front load, then respect the evening. A quick word on healthy drink halos. Kombucha, green juices, and herbal blends can be fine, yet timing still rules. Some kombucha has caffeine, and many detox teas are engineered to be diuretic. You might feel virtuous with a mug in hand, but the bladder reads it as a memo to clock in. If you enjoy these, make them daytime allies. The goal isn't restriction, it's alignment, matching what you drink with the time your body can handle it best. Practical guardrails make follow-through easier than willpower alone. Set a soft boundary. No large volumes in the 2 hours before bed. That doesn't mean zero sips, it means no big pours. Use smaller glassware at night and serve yourself less by default. Keep a coaster on your nightstand as a visual cue to pause, not to pour. Pair your pre-sleep routine with the bathroom twice, once 30 to 45 minutes before lights out, and again right before you settle. You're giving your system 2 calm opportunities to empty without strain. If you feel thirsty late, ask whether you're actually thirsty or just unwinding. Many of us confuse depletion with ritual. Try a mouth rinse, a single small sip, or a calming activity that doesn't involve a cup. And if you truly need more fluids because of heat, exercise, or a medical situation, be responsive and safe. This guidance is not a substitute for care. It's a blueprint for the average evening, built to protect your sleep. Here's the heart of this chapter, distilled. More water is not the enemy. Late water is. Once you move your hydration window earlier, the night stops feeling like a revolving door. Mornings become brighter, not because you toughened up, but because your routine finally matches the way your body works. Carry this forward with a simple experiment. For the next 7 nights, stick a note on your fridge that says, "Earlier, not more." Give yourself most of your liquids by 6 p.m., set the 2-hour no big pours boundary, and choose a small cup if you want a warm drink 90 minutes before bed. Track wake-ups without judgment. Small adjustments compound fast when you aim them at timing. Stay with me. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results, it can lead to meaningful side effects. I'll explain calmly and clearly so you can avoid them and keep the gains you're building. Now that timing has shifted in your favor, let's shine a light on the stealthy triggers that keep your bladder chatty after dark. Many people fix their hydration schedule and still wake to pee because a different crew is running the show. Foods and drinks that irritate the bladder lining or act like stimulants long after the meal is over. The good news is that you don't need a complicated elimination diet to see a difference. You need curiosity, a short testing window, and a few smart swaps. Start with the obvious suspects you might be underestimating. Caffeine is not only in coffee, it hides in black tea, green tea, energy drinks, some sodas, and even chocolate. A late afternoon cold brew can linger in your system for hours. Combine that with an after-dinner iced tea because it's lighter than soda, and you've layered stimulation with volume. Alcohol also pulls its weight here. That relaxing beer or glass of wine during a weeknight happy hour can increase urine production and fragment sleep, especially when paired with salty bar snacks. The effect isn't dramatic for everyone, But for sensitive bladders, it's the difference between sleeping through and shuffling down the hallway at 3 a.m. Next are the quiet irritants, the ones you wouldn't expect. Artificial sweeteners in diet soda or sugar-free dessert toppings can aggravate the bladder in some people. Carbonation, particularly when combined with citrus flavors, can create an urge now sensation. Acidic and spicy foods, tomato sauces on pizza or pasta, salsa on tacos, hot sauce on wings, add the kind of excitement your tongue loves, and your bladder may not. None of these items are villains by themselves. The issue is timing and stacking. Enjoy several of them at dinner, add a large beverage, and you set a very predictable stage for wake-ups. Let's build a gentle testing plan that respects real life. For the next 7 to 10 evenings, choose 2 potential triggers to pause after 5 p.m. Maybe it's caffeine after 2 p.m. and diet soda at dinner. Keep the rest of your routine stable, same bedtime, same hydration schedule. Track how many times you wake and how urgent each trip feels. Then rotate. Pause spicy sauces and citrus after 5 p.m., bring back one of the earlier items, and observe again. You're not trying to outlaw foods, you're mapping your personal response. The goal is to identify the few heavy hitters that are most relevant for you. When you do want the flavor kick, shift it earlier. Make tacos for lunch and enjoy the salsa then. If pizza night is sacred, pair it with still water and choose a lighter hand with the red pepper flakes. If you adore bubbles, have sparkling water at noon and still water with your evening meal. For a sweet note after dinner, try berries or a small yogurt bowl instead of chocolate ice cream. If citrus tends to bother you, pick the berries. If dairy isn't your friend at night, choose fruit. Small, deliberate choices add up to a quieter bladder. Here's a simple swap list that keeps comfort without the wake-ups. Replace the 4 p.m. coffee with a true decaf or a chicory blend. Trade the dinner iced tea for water infused with cucumber and mint. Refreshing, not stimulating. If you like a warm mug in the evening, pick a non-caffeinated, non-diuretic herbal option and keep the portion small, sipped about 90 minutes before bed. Keep in mind that many detox teas are designed to make you urinate more. Set those aside for daytime, if you use them at all. Pay attention to salt and spice together. Buffalo wings with hot sauce, ramen with extra broth, or nachos loaded with jalapenos will all drive thirst. Instead of fighting that thirst with a big glass at 9 p.m., change the canvas. Add a mild side that satisfies, roasted sweet potatoes, steamed rice, or simply grilled vegetables with olive oil and herbs. When the food is less aggressive, your need for refills fades naturally. Stress also turns the volume up on bladder signals. Long evenings, emails after dinner, high-energy shows late at night, your nervous system stays switched on, and a keyed-up body reads every sensation as urgent. Balance that with small, calming cues, dim lights an hour before bed, a 10-minute walk after dishes, a handful of slow breaths while sitting on the edge of the bed. None of this is flashy, but together, it lowers the background noise that masquerades as urgency. Use your bathroom routine as a checkpoint rather than a scramble. Give yourself 2 relaxed trips before sleep, one about 40 minutes before lights out and one just before settling in. Don't push or strain. That can make your bladder twitchy. If your ankles feel swollen by evening, elevate your legs for 15 to 20 minutes right after you finish dinner so your body can process that fluid earlier, not at 2 a.m. Again, these are general habits. If you have medical conditions that affect fluid balance, follow the plan you've set with your clinician. A quick, responsible note. Frequent nighttime urination can sometimes be associated with health issues that deserve attention. What we're doing here is optimizing lifestyle pieces that most people can adjust safely. Timing, food choices, portion sizes, and simple routines. If you apply these changes consistently and still wake multiple times, or if you notice pain, fever, or blood in the urine, reach out to a healthcare professional promptly. Early conversations are always wiser than late ones. By now, you can feel the pattern. Your evenings work best when they are quieter. Quieter flavors, quieter drinks, quieter nervous system. You're not trying to be perfect. You're creating space for deep sleep to form. The reward shows up in the morning as attention you didn't have to buy with extra caffeine, as patience you didn't have to force, and as energy that lasts beyond lunch. Put this into action tonight with a tiny, doable plan. Skip just one potential irritant after 5 p.m. Diet soda, the extra spicy sauce, the late coffee, and move it to tomorrow's lunch if you miss it. Choose still water with dinner, enjoy one modest glass, and let flavor live on your plate, not in your cup. Then use your 2 calm bathroom opportunities before bed. Track what happens without judgment. You're building a map that belongs to you, not to a rulebook. Stay with me. The next tip is among the most important, and ignoring it won't just blunt your results. It can lead to significant side effects. I'll walk you through it clearly so you can sidestep problems and keep protecting your sleep with confidence. You've already felt how quieter evenings change the night. Now it's time to knit the whole day together so your body doesn't have to fight at bedtime. Think of this as a gentle 24-hour choreography, small natural steps that reduce nighttime bathroom trips without forcing you to be perfect. I'm not asking you to drink less. I'm inviting you to drink smarter, aligned with how your kidneys, hormones, and nervous system actually behave across the day. Morning sets the tone. Instead of sprinting to a giant coffee and skipping water, start with a modest glass the moment you step into the kitchen. Room temperature or slightly cool works well. If you're used to the North American hurry, school drop-off, commute traffic, inbox pings, front-loading a little hydration early protects you from the evening catch-up. Keep your favorite bottle visible, not buried in a bag. Place 2 friendly marks on it, one by mid-morning, one by lunchtime. Meeting those marks is quietly powerful. You arrive at the afternoon less thirsty and less likely to chug later. Keep caffeine purposeful. A morning cup is fine for most people. A late afternoon cold brew or a 4 p.m. double espresso is the one that echoes at 2 a.m. If you love cafe culture, switch your afternoon order to true decaf, half calf, or an herbal option. Chocolate counts too. Those office brownies at 5 p.m. still deliver stimulants. None of this is finger-wagging. It's simply noticing which rituals fuel deep sleep and which rituals fuel nighttime wake-ups. Lunch is your hydration hub. Restaurants and office cafeterias often offer free refills. This is the moment to accept them. Have the sparkling water or the iced tea with your salad, burrito bowl, or leftovers from last night's roast chicken. If carbonation tends to make your bladder twitchy, keep the bubbles at midday and choose still water after 5 p.m. North American plates love salt and spice, ramen, deli sandwiches, tacos, and those flavors are thirsty. Pair them with earlier fluids, not late ones. The afternoon is where good intentions go to nap. Meetings run long, kids' activities stack up, and suddenly it's 6 p.m. with a full bottle on your desk. Here's a simple correction. Take 5 steady sips at the top of each hour from 1 to 4 p.m. That's it. Not dramatic, just consistent. If you work out after work, bring your bottle to the gym and sip through your session rather than pounding it afterward. Your cells absorb smarter when the flow is steady, and your bladder thanks you at midnight. Dinner is flavor time, not refill time. Choose one modest glass for the meal and enjoy it. If you usually reach for sweet tea, soda, or seltzer with citrus, consider still water with cucumber slices or mint. If pizza night is sacred, go lighter on red pepper flakes and add a side salad to tame thirst. If it's Taco Tuesday, enjoy salsa at lunch and a milder topping at dinner. These tweaks protect sleep without stealing joy. Here's a quiet trick that changes the evening. Move your comforting warm drink earlier. A small, non-caffeinated, non-diuretic cup about 90 minutes before bed scratches the ritual itch without flooding your system. Sip, don't gulp. Use a smaller mug. The container matters because it cues your brain on how much to drink. You're not depriving yourself. You're rehearsing for deep sleep. Build a short, predictable wind-down that keeps your nervous system in low gear. Dim lights an hour before bed. Turn off stimulating shows and switch to quieter activities, reading a paperback, stretching, or tidying the kitchen at a calm pace. If your evenings often include a happy hour drink, shift it earlier in the week or enjoy it with food at brunch instead. Alcohol can increase urine production and fragment sleep for some people, especially when paired with salty snacks like pretzels or wings. Now the practical anchor that ties the routine together. A simple 2-1-0 rule. 2 hours before bed, stop large volumes of fluid. That doesn't mean 0 sips, just no big pours. 1 hour before bed, visit the bathroom once, then again right at lights out. No straining, just give your bladder 2 relaxed chances to empty. 0 caffeine after mid-afternoon. Set your personal curfew around 2 p.m., earlier if you're sensitive. This small trio does more than any gadget you can buy. If your legs or ankles feel puffy by evening, common after long days sitting or standing, elevate your feet for 15 to 20 minutes right after dinner. That encourages your body to move some of that fluid earlier, not at 3 a.m. A 10-minute walk post-meal helps too. It's digestion, stress relief, and blood sugar support rolled into one. Picture a neighborhood stroll instead of a scroll. Let's talk about portions and pace. Big gulps signal urgency. Small sips signal calm. At night, trade the full tumbler for a demitasse-sized cup. Keep the bottle off your nightstand. A visible gallon at arm's reach will tempt you to top off, and that top off becomes a 4 a.m. trip. If your mouth feels dry, consider the environment. Central heating, AC, and bedroom fans can dry the air. A simple bedroom humidifier or turning the fan away from your face may solve what looks like thirst. Make the plan yours with a mini checklist you can recite without thinking. Marks on the bottle before noon and by 4 p.m. 1 pleasant glass with dinner. No large pours within 2 hours of bed. Bathroom twice. Feet up 15 minutes if swollen. Lights dim. Screens quiet. Small warm cup 90 minutes before sleep if you enjoy it. That's it. No drama, just rhythm. A responsible note belongs here. If you consistently wake 3 or more times at night after 2 to 3 weeks of these changes, or if you notice burning, fever, blood in urine, or significant pain, bring that information to a healthcare professional. Lifestyle alignment is the first lever. Clinical evaluation is the safety net. Both matter, and caring for yourself includes knowing when to ask for help. Tonight, try the smallest possible action that gives you momentum. Put a sticky note on your fridge that says, "Earlier, not more." Set your 2-hour boundary, prep a small cup for the 90-minute window, and choose still water with dinner. Mornings will start to feel brighter, not because you've pushed harder, but because your routine finally stopped pushing against your biology. Keep going. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It may bring unwanted side effects that I'll explain calmly so you can avoid them while protecting your sleep. You've tuned your timing, trimmed the irritants, and practiced a calmer evening rhythm. Now it's time to name the single mistake that quietly keeps nights fragmented and replace it with a safe, specific fix you can repeat without guesswork. The mistake is simple: trying to catch up on hydration at night and sealing it with a large mug of something right before sleep. It feels responsible after a busy day, even virtuous. But for your body, it's like sending a late-night email marked urgent. Your bladder responds on schedule, even if you don't want it to. The fix is not deprivation, it's precision. You'll see it in 2 parts: a clear boundary for evening liquids and a comforting bedtime cup that soothes rather than stimulates. We start with a schedule that respects your biology. 2 hours before sleep. Press pause on large volumes. Sips are fine if you're truly thirsty. 1 hour before sleep. Visit the bathroom once, then again right at lights out. This double void gives your bladder 2 chances to empty without strain. Set a caffeine curfew in the afternoon, around 2 p.m. for many people, and move bubbly or citrus-flavored drinks earlier in the day. These are small, doable moves, no heroics required. Because you asked for a precise preparation method, here's the bedtime infusion I rely on when I want the ritual without the wake-up. It's intentionally simple and designed to be non-diuretic for most people. Prepare it earlier in the evening so you can sip it about 90 minutes before bed, not at the last minute. Ingredients: 200 milliliters, about 3 to 4 cup of hot water just off the boil, 1 tea bag of plain caffeine-free chamomile or 1 teaspoon of dried chamomile flowers, 1 thin slice of fresh apple or a small strip of apple peel for natural sweetness, 1-2 teaspoon of honey if desired. Method: place the chamomile and apple slice in a small cup. Pour the hot water over them and cover with a saucer to keep the aromatics in. Steep for 5 to 7 minutes. Remove the tea bag or strain the flowers and the apple. Add the honey only if you use it, stir, and let the drink cool until it's comfortable to sip. Portion matters. Keep it to this 1 small cup. Sip slowly. Don't chug. Timing matters too. Finish the cup about an hour and a half before sleep so your body has time to process the fluid calmly. Who should modify or skip this? If you're allergic to plants in the daisy family, Asteraceae, avoid chamomile. If you manage blood sugar, consider skipping honey and enjoy the apple's subtle sweetness instead. If you're pregnant, nursing, taking blood thinners, or have complex medical conditions, confirm with your clinician whether chamomile is appropriate for you. None of this is a substitute for care. It's a gentle ritual that many healthy adults tolerate well when used as described. The safety comes from portion, timing, and paying attention to your own body's signals. To make the routine easy to remember, keep a concise evening checklist on your counter. Earlier, not more. 1 pleasant glass with dinner. No large pours in the final 2 hours. Small, non-caffeinated cup 90 minutes before bed if desired. Bathroom twice without strain. If your legs or ankles swell by evening, elevate them for 15 to 20 minutes after dinner to help your body shift that fluid before sleep. Dim the lights, quiet the screens, and let your nervous system downshift. Wake-ups are rarely just about the bladder. They're the sum of these small choices working together. If you've done all of this faithfully and still wake 2 or 3 times every night, that's valuable information, not failure. Persistent nighttime urination can be a harmless habit, but it can also reflect conditions that deserve attention. Common examples include sleep apnea, blood sugar dysregulation, urinary tract irritation, prostate enlargement, or fluid balance issues. A conversation with a healthcare professional helps you separate routine from signal. Seek care promptly if you notice pain, fever, blood in the urine, or a sudden dramatic change. Early checks are practical, not dramatic. I promised you a bonus at the start, and I keep promises. Here's your pocket-sized anti-wake-up list you can tape to the fridge. Mark your bottle for mid-morning and mid-afternoon. Move any caffeinated beverage to the first half of the day. Pair salty or spicy meals with earlier fluids and a mild side. 1 modest drink with dinner. Enjoy it. Stop large. Volumes 2 hours before bed. 2 relaxed bathroom trips. Legs up 15 minutes if swollen. Small chamomile apple cup 90 minutes before sleep if desired. That's the whole playbook. No expensive gadgets, no extreme rules, just rhythm and consistency. Let's land this with the why. Sleep is when your brain files memories, your hormones balance, and your heart and kidneys get a quieter shift. Protecting it is not indulgent, it's foundational. When nights become whole again, mornings stop needing rescue coffee after rescue coffee. You think more clearly, your mood has more room, and your body has more patience for the day's curveballs. That's what these tiny steps are buying you, the kind of energy that doesn't arrive in a can or a cup. If this guidance helps you, share it generously. Someone in your life, maybe a parent waking up 3 times a night, maybe a friend who keeps a soda on the nightstand, needs a calm explanation that actually works. Save this routine, like, subscribe, and keep learning with me. Small daily choices, repeated kindly, become health. And before you move on, remember this. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It can lead to avoidable side effects. I'll keep explaining each step clearly so you can stay safe and keep your nights peaceful.